So here I've got this young woman walking in trying to tell me anything about selling tires and what could she possibly know. So that would, I would say, is probably one of my biggest obstacles, is overcoming what many may feel professionally were male dominated roles within my life. I chose to be an overcomer, to say, yeah, no, you're not going to define me by that. Personally, I would say one of my biggest overcomers, I am a divorced mother of two. So overcoming that stigma with being a statistic of a divorcee, of two people, two humans that I'm now responsible and accountable for, not allowing that to define me and choosing to find love, life, all of the above post divorce, was probably one of my most successful overcoming.
Hey everybody, I am back. It's Summer Owens and I'm here with another episode of So What Success Stories. Today I am talking to Kendra Morman. She was Kendra Gray when I met her. Today she's Kendra Morman.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's part. I know that's part of the story. And Kendra, I met at the University of Memphis. She is also a fellow University of Memphis alum, and I met Kendra my freshman year of college in 1997. And I believe, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that we met as part of Student Activities Council. Yep. As part of SAC. I eagerly joined the committee. Kendra is a year over me, and she was already a leader in SAC. And maybe it was the next year or 2 years later, she became the president of the Student Activities Council. And so I was just looking up to her and admiring her. And it was also at that time that we became roommates. And so Kendra is actually in my book. Kendra is actually in my book as my first roommate that I ever had when I moved off of campus. And we have had a journey. And the other part of it is, and I wore this color for us, Kendra, is she is my sorority sister. She is also my sorority sister. So, yes, sorority, like Alpha Sorority Incorporated, if there were any question. But, so Kendra today is a government sales manager for Granger. And I like sharing what people do and what their jobs are. But more importantly, I love sharing their lives. And so we're going to get into this. Kendra, first tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, so I am a mother of two. Summer and I joked a little people, but they're not so little. So I've got a graduating senior this year and then a rising middle schooler. I get the opportunity to support two states. So I support the state of Georgia and the state of Alabama. And I get the pleasure of being our contractual liaison between the states. So I get to spend the day visiting customers, riding with sellers and supporting them. And by night, I am a swim team mom. So my son is a swimmer. He believes he is the next Michael Phelps.
Well, he is then.
There we go. So I'm like, yes, I can see me at the Olympics. I'm so here for it. So I spend a lot of time with my kids, very involved in my community. But yeah, a military brat. So home is a relative term. But South Carolina, the Palmetto state, is where my roots run deep. But Memphis will always have my heart, as that was where I grew up.
Got to be a grown-up. Yep, that's what I say too.
I had to grow up in Memphis and graduated from the university, as you said. So go Tigers. So yeah, that's
awesome, me. Kendra. And you talk about your children, and of course they are a big part of your life, a very important part of your life. And I just reflect on when I just said that you were my first roommate, but you also, with me moving off of campus to be your roommate, that was my first opportunity for my son to live with me, because I was living in the dorm the year before. And so you, me, and my kid were roommates.
musketeers. So to see pictures of him now, it's like, yeah, no, he's still little bitty J. Like, no, I don't believe it.
I'm telling you, it is crazy. And even just look, I was like, Kendra has kids. How does she have kids now? And her daughter just graduated from high school. Didn't I just graduate from high school? Like, wait.
I feel some type of way, actually, and I struggle with it most days because I'm like, yeah, I'm not old enough to have a child.
You're not. You aren't. You definitely aren't. And I'm definitely not old enough to have a child and grandchildren. No.
We're gonna go with that. We're gonna keep the momentum.
Yeah, that's just weird. I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but it did some kind of way. But Kendra, yeah. I'm really excited to be talking to you because although we're connected on social media, we haven't talked in a good while, with some minor exceptions like homecoming and stuff like that. But we haven't really connected. So I'm really excited to be talking to you, and I'm really excited to be sharing your journey. And we'll talk about the so what I call the so what success system. And that's when someone can learn how to overcome obstacles, eliminate excuses, and calculate choices. When you can do that, I believe that you can achieve what I call so what success. And that is success no matter what happens in life, no matter what challenges you face. And Kendra, you don't strike me as the kind of girl that has never had any obstacles and never had any challenges. And so I believe that you have lived the so what success system without even realizing it. So let's talk about it. So first, tell me a little bit about overcoming obstacles. What are some obstacles, personal, professional, anything that you want to talk about that you have had to overcome to be the woman that you are today?
Got it. So pick one. Like, pretty much everything about most people's lives, including my own, I would say is overcoming an obstacle. So I grew up in an abusive home. My mom, who is by far the strongest woman I know, hands down, um, was in an abusive marriage for a really long time. She was my first example of how do you overcome an obstacle. So she walked away. I can literally remember uh, handing off my mom with 2 suitcases to her name, and she started over. And so that told me that anything was possible, that there was no such thing as, oh, and one of the things my pastor has always said, you can choose to be a victim or you can be a victor. And so she chose to be a victor. She chose to be victorious. So I did the same. So when I think about obstacles I've overcome, being a woman in a fairly male dominated industry. So I now work for a distributor of products. So we are very male dominated. We started selling motors. So what could a woman possibly have to say? I've worked for companies like UPS. At one point, I was actually a territory person for commercial, so tractor trailer truck tires.
That's right up your alley, Kendra. Look, I always take you for that kind of girl.
So here I've got this young woman walking in trying to tell me anything about selling tires and what could she possibly know. So that would, I would say, is probably one of my biggest obstacles, is overcoming what many may feel professionally were male dominated roles within my life. I chose to be an overcomer, to say, yeah, no, you're not going to define me by that. Personally, I would say one of my biggest overcomers, I am a divorced mother of 2. So overcoming that stigma with being a statistic of a divorcee, of 2 people, 2 humans that I'm now responsible and accountable for, not allowing that to define me and choosing to find love, life, all of the above post-divorce was probably one of my most successful overcoming.
That's awesome. You know what? That's a story that a lot of people don't know that much about me, that I haven't talked about as much, not because I don't care to. It's coming. But that's my story too, is dealing with divorce, and it is a big challenge. And in your case, you have 2 children. So I salute you for overcoming that. And pushing forward and pushing forward. Not just that, but everything that you've overcome, and that you dealt with it, and to be on the other side of it and smiling and positive and pushing forward. So the next, oh, I love it. Embrace your story.
Yes, this is probably one of my favorite stories, is embracing your story. So I love that you have embraced your story, and I think you encouraging others to do the same through this platform has been amazing.
I appreciate that tremendously. You know what? I had to embrace it, or I didn't have to. I guess a lot of people don't, but I chose to share it. And I'm glad that you said that, because I encourage other people to share their stories and not be embarrassed by it. Okay, you went through a divorce. So what? I did too. So what? We keep it moving. We keep it moving, and we keep it moving. And embracing our story. So thank you, Kendra. Thank you for that. Now, the next part of the So What success system, after you've overcome obstacles and you embrace learning how to overcome obstacles, is eliminating excuses. We all have challenges. I don't care who you are, you will encounter challenges of some sort on some level. And you can make an excuse for not overcoming those challenges. You can make an excuse for not moving forward. Tell me about some excuses that you've made, or some excuses that you could have made, and how you've eliminated those from your life so you could move forward.
So a couple. I could have used the excuse, I'm now a single, divorced mother of two. Oh, woe is me. I could have totally used that excuse. I could have totally used the excuse, oh, I came from a broken home. I had no choice but to be a divorcee. I was set up for failure. It happens. I could have said, oh, the reason I'm not going to be successful in sales is, I'm in a male dominated organization and nobody's going to respect me because I'm a woman. So those were all excuses I could have leaned into very easily. I would have had lots of people to, oh, you can cry on my shoulder. I understand. We are in it together, sister. Like people do it all the time. Like people use the excuses. Most recently, I think a lot of people use COVID as an excuse. I think people use COVID as an excuse to not work. People use COVID as an excuse to not continue to develop themselves, both personally and professionally. So taking those excuses, instead of saying, oh, woe is me, turning them into, this is great. So for me, I would say one of the biggest things I can speak to professionally, I used COVID as an opportunity. For the last 11 years, I have been trying to go back to finish my master's. One time I used it as an excuse. Oh, I just had a baby. I can't do it. Oh, I'm going through a divorce. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm moving. I had lots of excuses to why I could not get it finished. COVID literally allowed the world to stop in motion. And so I am proud that I am now going back to finish. Okay, so I'm going to be a two-time Tiger, but not a Memphis Tiger, unfortunately, but an Auburn Tiger.
Okay, I guess I can accept that.
No, right? I'm like, so COVID was an opportunity for me. The other thing COVID allowed me to do professionally was get involved in some projects at work that I would have otherwise never had the opportunity to participate in, which ultimately ended up getting me a promotion into the role I'm in today.
Oh, wow.
So I used it as an excuse to raise my hand at work because my previous role was a heavy travel role. Well, COVID didn't really allow me to still travel. So what am I going to do with my hands every day? So I took that opportunity, helped jump on our emergency response and our COVID response team, which helped connect me with some people. And I got that opportunity to get exposure that I would have never gotten if COVID hadn't have happened.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That takes me back to, that makes me think about one of my sayings that I've been saying since I was working on my MBA. I had to do this project when I was working on my MBA. And what I came from that was turn adversity into advancement and obstacles into opportunity.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you did. I know, right? Maybe I need to get and you know what? And something else that you said that really registered with me that I used to say a lot, and I still say sometimes. I could have easily been like, woe is me too. And I could be like that, oh yeah, I understand. You got pregnant when you were 15 by somebody you didn't know. No, you don't. I see why you didn't go to college. I see why you on welfare. I see it would have been accepted, right?
Correct. Everybody would have said, you're good, love. Don't worry about it. You'll make it out the projects one day. Just keep trying.
And meanwhile, nobody would have been paying my bills. Nobody would have been feeling sorry for me. I would have been stuck. So I went from saying woe is me to woe me. I made that choice. I want to say woe me. And I say, whoa, you, Kendra. Whoa, Kendra. Whoa, Kendra. Okay, so we talked about eliminating excuses.
Okay.
The third component of the So What Success system is calculating choices. So you learn how to overcome obstacles, you get rid of those excuses, and then you have choices that you have to make every day, right? Small choices and then big choices. What are some of the calculated choices that you have had to make in your life to get to where you are today?
Wow. Okay, so this one is twofold. So I would say personally, I had to make a calculated choice to get a divorce. That was hard.
Amen. I know.
That was a calculated choice for me. That was, am I okay with this version of my life forever? Am I okay with this? Am I okay with accepting this? Am I okay with allowing this person to do this or do this and treat me this way? Am I okay with my daughter seeing and being in a space and a place where she sees me accepting behavior? Because what you accept is what you will get. So I had to have a calculated choice of, am I going to have my children come from a broken home or live in a broken home?
Oh, you said that.
Like, which way do we go? Do we go left or do we go right? Because if I go left, i.e., stay in this marriage, it's going to come a lot. There's going to be a lot to come with this. There's going to be trust issues. There's going to be anger, resentment, frustration. Like, am I okay with this while we rebuild? If I go right, am I okay being a single mother of two? Am I okay with having to start over? Am I okay with having a divorce under my, am I okay with that? Ultimately, I had to make that decision after a lot of prayer, after a lot of conversations with people that I know, trust, and love. I had to make the calculated choice. Yes, I'm going to file for divorce. This is not healthy. I'm good, love. Enjoy yourself.
And I know that was hard, and it probably parallels other tough decisions that you've had to make in your life. And as a mother, you know that your decisions impact your children. So that really, really big one. But every other decision that you've had to make, it impacts your children. And then even for people who don't have children, we all recognize our choices impact other people.
And that's the I think people don't think about. It's like, well, I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to do it, but well, it has a trickle down effect personally and professionally. Because think about it, now, I'm going from a 2-income household to 1-income household. That now is going to change the way I move. I don't give a one vacation a year now. I get to. So I had to think about all of that long term. You got to think about the long game, not the short game. And I think anytime you're calculating a choice, taking a risk, professionally or personally, you truly got to be thinking 3, 4 steps ahead. If you take this job at this company, what does the upward mobility look like for you? Or are you going to get stuck in that job because upward mobility means there's only one other person in the country that has the next rung, and you got to wait on that person to die, get promoted, or fired?
Yeah, or does that mean you have less time to spend with your children? It's all kinds of consideration with that. And that's what the things that it's like a three, you said 4 steps ahead, and I also look at it as a 360. I have to think it from a 360 view, like what's happening all around me and where do my decisions play. Well, you have made some, and even I'm thinking about the decisions that you made to move away from Memphis, and just lots of different choices that you've had to calculate, and you are here now, and seeing you smile and be happy when I know that you've had some struggle along the way. And it's a blessing and it's a testament, and I'm glad for people to see it. But with the So What Success system, it's about learning how to overcome obstacles, eliminate excuses, and calculate choices. There will be lots of obstacles, there will be lots of excuses, and there'll be lots of choices that we have to make. But when you can do those things, you can achieve So What Success, and that's success in spite of everything. Yes. But Kendra, what is your personal definition of success?
Oh, okay. So this is a hard one. I'm not gonna lie. This is a hard one because I think a lot of people define success by things like money, possessions, to have my children look at me as though I'm an angel. Yeah, no, none of those.
Not for you, huh? Nah, not for you.
No, I'm good. I would say for me, as I move into this phase in life, success for me looks like I want to build a life I don't need a vacation from.
I like that.
Because I think, a lot of times we think success means, oh, I got to make a career and I got to do this and I'm going to be jet setting around the world. Create a life I don't need a vacation from. That it is financially where I'm trying to be. It is emotionally where I'm trying to be. The toxicity in my life is gone. Peace. that is what success looks like for me. And I think everybody has to define that differently based on where they are. And I think if you had to ask me this question 10 years ago, you would have got a totally different answer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's exactly what I say. Your definition of success changes over time, and it may even change again, right? But yes, 10 years ago.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know, right. Because you're gonna be, if you like, no, I'm good, man.
I want to live a quiet life.
I think that and you know what? I take that back. I believe you on that. And I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. It's no longer for me about a title, a position, amount of money, a size house, or any of those things that it used to be. And so yeah, I get it, and I love it. One last question for you.
Okay.
So a lot of people will be watching this, and everybody has different obstacles, different challenges, and different places in life. But I think universally people want to have success, however they define it. But everybody doesn't know how to do it. What advice would you give, just general advice, would you give to someone who wants to be successful, wants to feel successful, but running into some obstacles? And this could be a young professional, could be a college student, anyone. What general advice would you share?
It sounds cliche and people have heard it before, but get comfortable in the uncomfortable. Do all the hard things. Do all of the things that make you afraid. Do them. So I'll make you laugh as we get close. So my daughter, I told you, is going to college in the fall, and summer's here, so she's not thinking about the fall. And so there were some opportunities came through for her to get involved and be what they call at her university, she's going to Clemson, called Fangineers. And basically it's what we used to do, work the suites at the football game.
Okay.
like, I'm afraid. I said, of what? She goes, well, like, I'm not going to know anybody in the suite. Like, I'm not going to, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? And I told her, I pushed and I made her apply. I said, being involved at my university was the best thing I could have ever done for my college experience.
I'm here.
Hands down. I said, so get comfortable with getting uncomfortable. She applied. They offered her the position on the spot in her interview. And she was like, she just lit up. And I said, that's what I mean by you got to get comfortable with doing all of the things that scare you, because that's where the magic is. The magic is where you are scared.
Oh, I love it.
That's where the magic happens. And she was like, I'm just really glad you pushed me and made me do it. I said, everything that has happened in my life is because as you talk about my move from Memphis and a divorce, and it was because I was scared. And I had to have somebody say, sorry, you're going to have to do the things that scare you and the things that make you uncomfortable. And eventually they will become comfortable.
Woo, Kendra, do it scared. I've been saying that for a minute. Do it scared. I've been saying, because I've done some stuff scared, like stepping out and doing the entrepreneur thing. Do it scared. But I like that magic is in the scared.
The magic is in the scared. It really is. That's where the good stuff happens.
I like that. I think that was powerful. Those are some really good last words, because if fear often holds us back. And fear often holds us back from our greatness. And I'm so glad that you pushed your daughter. I'm not surprised, but I'm so glad that you pushed your daughter.
She didn't know whether she applied or not. I was going to apply and she was going to do it. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. And likewise, and this is especially for any young person that is in high school or college. I echo your sentiments exactly, that not only did getting involved make my college experience so much better, it made my life so much better. So even my ability to get a job after college and start my career after college, and even now, the relationships that I have, Kendra, had we not been involved, we would not know each other. We would not know each other. Maybe eventually would have made our way through AKA, I don't know.
But now I was leaving, you know what I mean? Like I was leaving, and so it was, chance is not a thing.
Nope.
Nothing happens by chance. And so, yeah, I will forever be grateful for my experiences at the university. And I will tell every kid, and my mom tells me this, you don't have a decision to make until an offer is made. So the decision isn't to apply. The decision isn't to interview. You don't have a decision to make until they make you an offer.
Wow, you just dropping them. You're just dropping them.
That's the real. You don't have a decision to make till they make you an offer.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Kendra, all these years later, I am glad that we are both still here. We are both still striving and growing. We are both still overcoming and achieving. And thank you so much today for your time and inspiring and teaching a lot of people who will be watching this video. I really appreciate you. Love you, girl.
So proud of you. Love you too.
Thank you.